2 Timothy chapter 4 verse 5. As for you, always be sober-minded, endure suffering, do the work of an evangelist, fulfill your ministry. We will look at the remaining two commands of this verse today. When Paul says do the work of an evangelist, it doesn't necessarily mean in the limited context of preaching the gospel to the unconverted, but generally to the task of gospel proclamation to believers and unbelievers alike. That's why Paul says in 1 Corinthians 9:16, "Woe to me if I do not preach the gospel." So Timothy must do the work of an evangelist to his local congregation, preaching the gospel to the church, not just to the lost. And then Paul says, fulfill your ministry. In the context of this paragraph, it refers to the various aspects of the ministry that Timothy is to fulfill with regards to all of Paul's exhortations. This is a lifetime commitment, not just start and quit, but carry on to the end. Just 2 verses after, Paul says, I have fought the good fight of faith, finished the race. Preaching is not merely a theological exercise. In light of all the commands Paul is giving here to Timothy, a preacher is not just the one who gives a formal sermon, but there is more to it. There is not only content of preaching, but the content must be communicated with authority and no compromise. And the word of truth is to be communicated in the most effective ways possible. You may wonder, how does this section impact me, as I'm not called to be a preacher? God may not have called you to be a preacher, but you sure can pray for preachers knowing the tough job they have at hand. And knowing the profile of a true preacher of God's word, you can differentiate the one that is false. And be watchful lest you drift away from the truth. Have a blessed day.